Man, there's no stopping Zack Snyder fans until now. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore with an update to this breaking story about AT&T pushing off Warner Media to Discovery. If you haven't seen my first part of this coverage, please click on over here first, get all the update and my insight. We have a new update, however, about CEO Jason Kilar, who is now negotiating his exit. Yikes. All right, now before we get to this breaking story as it continues to come out, I want to correct something for a lot of people. I saw a lot of chats. Thanks for all of you watching. I saw a lot in the comments, etc. And some of the media is trying to sell this as the merger. I mean, technically, they are merging these assets into a new company. However, AT&T is not going to be in charge of it. AT&T is going to still exist, and Discovery is going to become a part of Warner Media. AT&T is selling Warner Media to Discovery. That's what's happening. They will still own stock in this new company. But guys, you can't deny this is a push away of a property they owned to allow this new guy over at Discovery, David Zaslav, to control it. Now, yes, they'll still make some money on the deal. They still have some, stock options involved in it. But if this all goes through, this isn't really a merger. This isn't like AT&T and Discovery have now joined forces. No, AT&T is merely pushing Warner Media over to Discovery, getting a piece of that pie and letting them do what they want to do, because AT&T doesn't want to be in this business anymore. So don't be too confused. Yes, Warner Media and Discovery are merging, but AT&T has to offshoot it for that to happen. So this is, again, a knock on Warner Media. And in fact, as I reported previously, a huge knock on Jason Kilar. Now, this is crazy to hear this news. Apparently, as I worried, he was not in the know on this deal. He didn't find out until Saturday evening. Ouch! Like, that is brutal. Like, I don't care about. I don't wish anybody this kind of pressure. But my God, that is about as evil of a maneuver as you can do. John Stankey over at AT&T made this man fire 2,000 employees. Then made this man do whatever he could to lift up these numbers, clearly pressuring, we need the numbers up, we need the numbers, figure out what we can do. So Jason Kilar puts his entire reputation on the line against all of Hollywood and makes the day and date decision with them and says, yep, we're going to release all our studio movies on HBO Max the same day. Yeah, oh, wait, talent, you're annoyed with that? Oh, crap, what do you mean? All of this is being pushed on him. He's now being scapegoated. It's all his fault. The SnyderVerse, some people are going to blame. I'm not blaming. Dude, anybody out there who's blaming Zack Snyder for this deal doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. That has nothing to do with this issue. This is such a bigger issue for AT&T. I mean, it's one small piece of it that I'm sure didn't help, but it's not at all why this happened. But of course, Snyder fans are already, maybe the Discovery CEO guy will watch the Restore the SnyderVerse and make all this happen. Guys, it's over. Jason Kilar was your ally. He was the one who was behind the scenes making this happen. He's the one Ray Fisher kept tweeting about, etc. If Jason is out, unless the Discovery CEO wants to put his name and go, yeah, we're going to reinvest in the SnyderVerse. I mean, anything's possible in this world. I just don't think that's going to be his first step back. I think he's got a lot of other things to focus on. However, I want to focus on this. So I wanted to do an update here because the fact that they didn't tell Jason Kilar after making him do all that dirty work and then knew that this merge was coming, I mean, damn, AT&T is brutal. I see a lot of comments saying this is a bad move because AT&T just did. Let's be clear. AT&T sucked at controlling Warner Media. They had no idea what they were doing. A lot of people will say, no, they greenlit the Snyder. It's such small potatoes considering the whole slate of everything that they did. They pissed off every filmmaker in town when they made that deal and didn't get permission. And then they had to pay them out to appease them. But that didn't make them happy. I can't imagine James Gunn, Denis Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan, all these directors are going to rush back to go work in Jason Kilar's Warner Media. It was already sort of, I think all the writing was on the wall and AT&T could tell. They made so many stupid choices throughout the way. They had no idea what they were doing or how to run a movie studio. And it falls on this guy, sadly, because he was the one who was in charge making the moves for the AT&T brass. Because clearly he thought AT&T was going to be investing and making this move forward. And now He's got to negotiate an exit to get out of here. Apparently, he has already hired a legal team to negotiate his departure as chief executive of Warner Media. According to two people briefed on the matter, AT&T, which owns Warner Media, said on Monday they'd agreed to spin off the division and merge it with rival media company Discovery Inc. Mr. Kilar was kept in the dark about the deal until recent days, people said, speaking on the condition of anonymity to discuss private conversations. Spokesman for Warner Media declined to comment. New company will be run by David Zaslav, a media veteran and a longtime Discovery. He and John Stankey, the AT&T's chief executive, met over the last few months secretly from my brownstone in Greenland Village, Zaslav said in a call. So they've been meeting secretly, and they kept him out of the loop. Oof. Mr. Kilar was hired to run AT&T's media group only last year. He formerly had senior jobs at Hulu and Amazon. Now they were like, Jason's fantastic talent, etc., but they made it clear that David's got a lot of decisions to make on personnel. There was clearly no guarantee that Kilar was going to be here. Apparently, Jason Kilar did write out a Monday morning email rallying the troops. He's trying to be a team player here, clearly publicly, writing all the Warner Media staff, saying the merger is monumentous news. He did not get into his own future, but he said, I recognize it will take all we've got to keep our collective focus on the mission, memo concluded. We can do it. He added a smiley face emoticon. Now, guys, this adds so much more to it. While they're out there trying to make this seem like it's a great merger, yay, two big brands, here you have two completely out of touch CEOs who just made another huge move without any sort of process aside from the fact of money, didn't even involve their executive team, basically acknowledging that they don't believe in them, that they don't believe in anybody that's there. And so now they're just going to hit the reset button and put all of the faith in this guy who runs Discovery channels. Look, I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I want to be open-minded. It sounds like they're going to put more funding into Warner Media, which to me is a good thing. However, it gets me nervous. I gotta be honest though. Jason Kilar didn't blow me away either. He made some desperate moves, clearly out of desperation. he did. They were, regardless of what you think of sort of the movies and choices he made. He greenlit that cut for just to get content out quickly. He decided to put all the movies out day and date because I'm sure that pleases a lot of you fans. It's nice to have them on home, but it wasn't a smart Hollywood move. You got to have relationships in this town to get them to come back and give you their next movies. And so the fact that now David Zaslav is able to watch all these seeming failures that Kilar did, and basically come in and compliment him, say congrats. But, you know, when you have these high-level execs who are all jockeying to be the alpha dog, they don't want to sit there under some new guy and be like the whipped guy who's just sort of like, yeah, whatever you say, new boss. What do you want me to do now, new boss? No, this sucks for Jason Kilar. And where's he going to go? Like, what company is going to put him in as such a prominent role that he just had? He's going to have to start up his own thing. Maybe he'll rally some funding on a new idea like he did with Vessel, which was not a good idea. It was a failed venture. But look, he's got enough credits now. Someone's going to want his expertise. He'll do okay. He also made a ton of money this 1 year. If you go look at how much these CEOs made, it's insane the amount of money he made. Just save it away, Jason, just in case. You'll be fine. This isn't a woe is me for Jason Kilar video, but I'm still sort of shocked. Sort of how quick and how, guys, it can just snap like that in this industry. Literally, this guy was in charge of all of Warner Brothers, all the Warner Media content. Everybody was coming to him thinking he's the top dog. And literally, he found out on a Saturday, you're out. We're going a different direction. Yeah, you might stick around, but we're not sure. And so now Jason's got to move around and make his own power play by saying, not doing this. Now, this is going to have a ripple effect with a lot of other people there. You're going to see a lot of people jumping ship. Now, this could be a good thing. This sort of rallies who's loyal to this new guy, who's ready to sort of commit to this new guy's vision, the guy from Discovery. He's going to want loyal soldiers and creative people who are going to sort of share the vision. Now, and the Discovery guy seems to want to have creative people there to sort of help envision them and make sure that they're getting what they want made. But all of this is going to make things so much more complicated the next year or two as to, well, who's going to still be there and who's actually in charge, and do they try and hire some new people? Do they try to say just completely reset the whole thing and let everybody sort of, you know, take this next year? But how many more companies can these people go work for? You know, Netflix, what's it called? Apple has something going on. You got Amazon Prime. You got only so many big corporations where these guys can be the executives of. So you're seeing a lot of these people starting to lose their jobs or have to build up their own platforms, et cetera, which I imagine Jason's going to attempt to do next, given all that he's had under his belt. But he did not help himself when he burned all those relationships for the sake of just doing what the digital move was. And I called that out right away. Everyone is happy they got their movies, but this will affect him later on. Karma is a bitch. It always hits us all, and everybody hits it. Look, I don't wish this guy ill will, but I got to say, you reap what you sow. And so he followed the brass, and the brass didn't follow him. It's a lesson I learned the hard way as well. Build your own content, be your own boss, control your own destiny, make your own content. Guys, if you learn anything through all these maneuvers in Hollywood, that's the key. You don't need to have the biggest. Just have enough of a fan base, of following, a brand that you can control, to own, and just live off of and have a nice life. Everybody's got to keep clawing up the ladder and try to own it all, and every corporation's going to own every brand in the world. It's depressing. But man, I got to say, damn, this guy just got burned hard to not know. Can you imagine that? Now, look, what does this mean for the sake of for the future of now Warner Media? I'm getting a little bit more nervous. I got to be honest. I mean, this guy came in, this John Zaslav, is now a big dog in town. Who the hell knows who's going to be up and cozying up to him, but you're going to see a lot of people cozying up to him to try and get in and get the new positions, the new roles through all these brands that you're staring at. But I'm kind of shocked. I feel like a lot of the Warner Brothers, HBO, CNN even, Cartoon Network, all this stuff, DC, Adult Swim, TBS, all these brands just to me feel so much more important than ID and OWN and Animal Planet. I mean, they're fun cable networks, but to put them on the same playing field to me is kind of crazy. And so now that this guy who has all these sort of lesser chips on the table, and I'm not saying they're invaluable, you know what I mean? But compared, I mean, if you could have one of these companies, which one would you want? I would think you'd take this one, right? This has got a lot more exciting stuff and IP stuff you own. This has got a bunch of sort of reality formats, you know? I'm shocked that now this John Stanky didn't give the keys of this castle to a production entity that knows what they're doing, a Netflix, and even an Amazon at this point. Paramount, like, team up with another studio. It's crazy, but it seems clearer and clearer he didn't want to team up with one of those big guys because then he'd have to deal with the antitrust nonsense. Like, that's a big part of this. And here you go. Another thing that I just saw out here was the fact that so just an example of what we're talking about. DOJ antitrust chief who challenged AT&T Time Warner merger takes different view on Warner Media spinoff. This is ultimately why this is happening, guys, because they saw a smaller fish that they could eat up without having to worry about the antitrust problems and everything else. And so this is ultimately, I think, why John Stanky made the move that he did. He was looking for a big enough fish that wouldn't be too big for the deal to get complicated, and that's ultimately what happened here. And so Jason Kilar is just a casualty, and it is what it is. What do you guys think of this? Does this get you more nervous, more excited to just clean house and start over? I would be okay with that if I wasn't more concerned for the fact that AT&T, like, it's like one final F you. You know what I mean? Like, hey guys, we messed up everything. We've completely disrespected the Warner Brothers film library and all the filmmakers there. And you know what? We're going to put it in better hands. We're going to give it to the network behind 90 Day Fiancé, Property Brothers, and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I mean, Jesus Christ. Wow, this story is insane. More will be coming, so if you don't want to miss out all the updates on this as it goes, get inside. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for all notifications, smash that like button, and leave me your comments below. I've been engaging with a lot of you guys. I want to hear your thoughts so I can figure out what to report on next, etc. in this topic, because this is just the beginning of this story, and it's going to get wild. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to click on these videos, hit that subscribe top left, follow me on social medias. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorned Planet.